Welcome back, True Seeker. Friday, November 9th, 2018. One of the top stories today, the reported terrorist attack in Melbourne, Australia. And they've now put out the name of the attacker as Hassan Khalid Shire Ali. You saw the work I did earlier in the day. I showed that this was the work of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and it was part of their ongoing order out of chaos agenda. Here's more definitive proof that that is exactly what this was. Again, if you're new here, we talk about the language of Gematria, the ancient practice of coding numbers into words, which is used by Freemasonry, and which is the practice that is involved in all of these false flag terrorism events across the world. If you missed the work from earlier today, please check it out. This is the third video on the subject. In case you're new here, we're looking at the name of the victim in the language of Gematria. There are 4 base ciphers. They are very intuitive. You can do basic arithmetic. You can do this. The first cipher is the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26th letter is 26. The next cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So A is still 1, B is still 2, C is still 3. When you get to J, the 10th letter, that's where it changes. You take the numerology of 10, which is 1 plus 0 is 1, so J becomes 1. K, the 11th letter, becomes 1 plus 1 is 2. L, the 12th letter, becomes 1 plus 2 is 3. All the way up to Z, the 26th letter, becomes 2 plus 6 is 8. You make each letter a single-digit number using numerology. The next cipher is the reverse alphabetic order, making Z1 counting back to A is 26. And the last cipher is the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Earlier today, we talked about how this came on the Premier's 127th day of his age, a big number to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. So let's go through this. Out of our 4 base ciphers, 3 of these numerical values are very relevant to the order out of chaos agenda. Let's begin with the 188. The Latin for order out of chaos, which is used in a lot of Masonic symbolism, is ordo ab chao, summing to 188. Not an accident. The number 89, the word chaos with the reverse alphabetic order, sums to 89. And again, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry sums to 127. Notice the Star of David in this Masonic symbolism. Most Masonic lodges are very much full of Star of Davids. We talked about how the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is the most Jewish branch and what the Star of David has to do with today, November 9th. We'll revisit that in a moment. So here's the Premier, Daniel Andrews. He's currently 46 years old. This event comes on his 127th day of his age. And remember, Ordo ab chao also has the gematria of 46, just like the word chaos equals 46 using the alphabetic order. It means order out of chaos. The attacker, his name also sums to 89, another number of chaos. And again, this comes on his 127th day, matching the name of the attacker as well as the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. So you see, this is why you want to know all 4 base ciphers. If you know them, you'll see all that is encoded and all of this propaganda every single time it crosses the mainstream media, which happens daily. All across the world, this type of propaganda is contrived on the daily. Notice the name of the Premier, Daniel Andrews. Gematria of 222 and 78, also like order out of chaos in the 2 base ciphers. How perfect. All of this is just way too perfect, isn't it? This happened on Bork Street, New World Order, order out of chaos, Bork Street, all 75. All of these numbers used again and again. Think of these numbers as the synonyms for these meaningful terms to the Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite, that are used and recycled again and again in all of this propaganda. And for the people who don't get why they do this, it's because you don't know what the definition of government is. Government means mind control. Governments only serve one purpose: to control. Have you noticed that the people who are in government are powerful people? Have you realized that you're not, that you're subjected to the rules of your government, that you have to pay taxes to your government? Is your government paying you taxes? No. Your government's exploiting you. You know, so many of you are just dead asleep. You're like, I don't get it. It's because you don't, you just don't get the obvious, I guess. That's what I'm here for, to help you wake up to the obvious. Governments serve one purpose: mind control. That's why they've duped so many of you into thinking that, you know, they're here to serve you when all they do is exploit you, period. So let's go over the other things we talked about earlier just for some review. Remember the emphasis on terror and terrorist incident? Again, this is why the 4 base ciphers matter. Terror equals 94 with the alphabetic order. Terrorist incident equals 94 with the alphabetic order and rules of numerology. And more of these values matter as well, but it's been exactly 94 weeks since the last false flag like this in Melbourne. 94 weeks on the nose. Terrorist incident also summed to 239, the 52nd prime. This comes on the day, leaving 52 days left in the year. Terrorist 52, government 52, authority 52, ISIS, who it was blamed on, 52. ISIS stands for Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. With regards to Freemasonry being the culprits, notice how Melbourne and Freemason both sum to 42 and 48. The man we just looked at, who this is synced up with, the premier, by the way, the word premier equals 42. He is the 48th premier of Victoria. Just show you that word premier here. Premier, 48 and 42 as well. Synced up with him. The 48th of Victoria. Again, that Masonic symbolism under the all-seeing eye, what's that have to do with today? It's November 9th, 11/9, as it's written in parts of the world, such as the United States. All-seeing eye 119, Orthodox 119, Star of David 119. The Star of David, Masonic symbolism, Zionist symbolism, Masonry based in Judaism. This also happened in Victoria, having the Gematria of 119. In Victoria, they write the date 9/11, which is the reflection. Consider this practice originally comes from Hebrew, where you read right to left. That's why numbers that are reflections of each other are equals. 119, 911, they're equals in this study. The last attack was January 20th, 2017, a date with 58 numerology. Today's attack, November 9th, 2018, also a date with 58 numerology. Freemasonry 58, Rosicrucian 58, Secret Society 58. It was a date with 38 numerology. One of the big stories in this was the fire from the car. Fire has the Gematria of 38. So does stabbing. Someone was stabbed to death. Death 38, murder 38, killing 38, RIP 38. Again, November 9th, the 313th day of the year, leaving 52 days remaining. 313 is the 65th prime. Terrorist sums to 52 and 65, making it a perfect day for such a ritual. Notice ISIS, also 52, blamed on ISIS, of course. Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. Earlier, we talked about how barbecue-style gas cylinders has the Gematria overlap with Scottish, as in Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. As a reminder, the New World Order, it was pledged to the Jews October 6, 1940. In the New York Times, the date was 75 numerology. October 6, 1940, New World Order pledged to Jews, pledged to Freemasonry in the same breath. And really, this had already happened long before. This headline was just meant to mock during the time of World War II, which was part of an ongoing agenda to establish the Zionist state of Israel. And what group of people want the entire world to think Islam is their enemy? The same Israeli nation that is encroaching on the boundaries of the Muslim nations around it. It's not hard to see what is going on. Daily propaganda across the world to make the people hate and fear Islam by the numbers. It is not hard to see. Order out of chaos, meaning they get the order they want. Also, just another note, we talked about how it came on his 127th day of his age, the premiere. Notice it was also 18 weeks and 1 day into his age. And from the prime minister's birthday to the attack was his 181st day. 181, the 42nd prime. Melbourne, Freemason, both 42. And just one more time, in all of this propaganda, you'll always see that they report the suspect said Allahu Akbar. That's just code for Masonic nonsense. 74 for Allahu Akbar. Muhammad also sums to 74. So does stabbing, killing, Masonic, Jewish, Gematria, English. Gematria is the practice coding numbers into words. The Prime Minister, Scott has that Gematria 58, like Freemasonry, like Secret Society, like Rosicrucian. When you hear people say they, who are they? They are Freemasonry. They 58. This is how they operate. This is how they're building the police state. One incident after the next. And again, from the January 20th, 2017 car ramming and stabbing to the November 9th, 2018, 94 weeks on the nose, Terror 94, Terrorist Incident 94, the original definition of terrorism, government by intimidation. And those are the main points. Third time covering this today. Just wanted to make sure people saw how the supposed attacker's name fit into the already perfect pattern we had identified. Again, if you're new to my work, I've been showing the same thing consistently, incident after incident for 5 years straight. This is an impossible coincidence. This is the knowledge you need to know if you want to see through the agenda, if you want to be part of the solution. You can either be part of the solution or you can cower in fear and let it happen to you, happen to this world. If you want to know how to fight back, the playbook's right here. The book Letters and Numbers, How English's Numerical Code Reveals the Scripting of History, News, Elections, Rigged Sports, and more. Come read the contents of this book. 800-page book, tons of information. A chapter that's over 100 pages long on these false flags across the world by the numbers, showing the same patterns over the decades. Come read the mini reviews. We're up to 100 reviews, all 5-star. A lot of people learning a lot of important information from this book. And you know what I'm going to do, because we don't have enough sales? Again, I need to get the sale number for this book to 10,000. We're approaching the halfway point. But then again, the book's been for sale since March, so we're not doing so well. Need to get this book to 10,000 sales to have the publisher who said if I could get to that mark, they'd be interested in putting it in print. It is an ebook. It's an instant download. You get it right away. You don't have to wait for it in the mail. The nice thing about it being an ebook is it's 800 pages. It makes it very easy to search for keywords. This book covers almost everything you could imagine. And you are welcome to print it. But again, just $10. That's US. You guys can help be part of the sales. You can help this book spread. If I can get this thing in print, a lot more people are going to want to pick it up. You can read it on your computer, your phone, your Kindle, all those type of devices. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.